Hey everybody, this is Perch. I've got two emails here, and they're kind of the same. They're different people, and some of these people have written in before, so this isn't one person who's. I mean, put it this way: if it's one person who's got two emails saying kind of the same thing, this would be a long con. The person has been at it for like 6 months, and I mean, it wouldn't be worth this payoff. I'll just put this out. It would not be worth the payoff of this in order to get there. But let me read you the two mails and we'll talk about this. I have no idea how I'm going to title this video. So obviously I'm recording this video before I actually make the thumbnail. So you already know what the thumbnail is. I have no idea how it's all going to come across, but that's the fun of YouTube, the magic of YouTube. So here we go. So here's mail number one. Good evening, Perch. It is evening, so thank you very much. I don't understand why people dislike Heather Antos so much. She's hot. P.S. Video idea, rank the babes of the comic industry. I'm going with 1980s and Cindy. But anyway, all right, fine. Here's mail number two. Hey, Perch. I'm curious. Do you think the reason why so many people dislike Heather Antos and seem to dislike her more than other comic employees is because Heather Antos is attractive? I personally think that's the big reason why, because the reality is Heather Antos is one of the most fuckable people in comics. God bless my audience. Okay. All right, two emails. So Heather Antos, who occasionally listens to this channel, yeah, sorry. Good news. The audience of the Perch Show finds you attractive, so that's great news. Where am I going with this? I think I think the premise on the table is, does Heather Antos get a higher level of criticism because she is attractive? Maybe. I don't know. To me, the Heather Antos criticism is kind of a self-feeding snake at this point. Meaning, I think that if you go back in time, you go to the milkshake incident and you get the entire dynamic around. There's a video I did about the milkshake incident. It was a while ago. I just laid out the history. There was not really any judgment or any commentary. It was just like, here are the sequence of events. And you can find that video in my archives. You search Perch milkshake and it'll come right up and you can kind of lead to that. My stance on the milkshake incident and everything that surrounds it is still the same. It's been several years and it is the same. It is that the purpose of the entire, if we believe that the purpose of the editors going out to get milkshakes was to honor flow, and look, all of you guys can speculate on the secret three-dimensional chess reasons why people do the shit they do. I mean, more power to you. Go for it. But I'm going to just, for the moment, because it hurts my head too much, let's just assume that the people who went out to get milkshakes were trying to do that as some kind of memory of Flo. Flo did like milkshakes. That is true. That is an established fact that, was known long before any of these people, long before Heather Antos was born. That was something that was known. And to me, and this is my morals, my standards, whatever you want to call it. For me, I am kind of particular around memorials and around death. And this has been an argument I've had for many, many years. I think that when people, die and you're going to remember them, the cardinal rule, really the only rule, is don't make it about yourself. Make it about the person who you are remembering. Make it about the person for whom the memorial is for. And to me, the cardinal rule, the thing that was broken in that trust with the milkshakes incident was, they went out, they had milkshakes, they were remembering Flo. Let's just assume that was true. And I have no reason to disbelieve that. I do think there was some kind of like, hey, let's go out to get milkshakes. That's what Flo would have done. These are staffers. They went out and did it. Somebody's like, let's take a selfie. We all look so pretty. And then they did that and they posted it like remembering Flo, and they all had their milkshakes. Okay. I mean, there's some narcissism in there for sure, but let's just assume that's on the level. Okay. The problem for me set in not with the like handful of guys, and it was not many. It was a very small amount of men who were like, I'd like to fuck those girls drinking the milkshakes. That was the response. Now, what's silly about that is the response was so over the top. Like, I cannot personally believe that men would say they want to have sex with women they look at on the internet. I am shocked and outraged. Shocked, I tell you. That like, come on. Like, there's guys. You go on Twitter any given day. There's people who like people will post a picture of a fire hydrant that looks vaguely feminine, and somebody will come in there going, "I'd like to fuck that." That's men. It's gross, but I mean nobody wants to fuck a fire hydrant. But I mean it's that is not new territory there. The other comment that was made was a bunch of guys, and those guys were jackasses. Absolutely, they were. You know, I have a feeling a couple of you listening might have been a part of that original crowd. I don't know, but a couple men came in there and go, "Hey, get the fuck back to work. Stop drinking milkshakes," which is a dick thing to do. I don't care if you like Marvel, hate Marvel, whatever it happens to be. That's a dick comment. You know, if somebody posts a photo, particularly one whether you believe them or not, if they post a photo going, this photo is in honor of somebody who passed away in our company, and your response is, get back to work, you dumb bitch, you're the asshole. You are. Don't try and justify it. You're the prick in that situation. The only thing that makes that situation worse is exactly what some of those editors did, which was they decided to immediately go on the offense. They immediately like, can you believe these men are harassing us? Fuck these guys. You guys are disgusting. Like they went hardcore and they would not shut up about it. A couple of them, Heather included, proceeded to spend the next several months bitching about this entire situation when the correct answer was probably block and say, I'm trying to remember a friend. I'm trying to remember somebody who was beloved around the office. Again, true or not, doesn't matter. I am not going to respond to all this bullshit. I am definitely not going to turn this entire situation into a way to give myself attention. I'm just going to block, ignore, and continue to remember the person who has passed away. That was the correct answer. That was exactly the correct answer. I'm sure there would have been a couple guys like, you can't block me. Yet nobody's going to take your side. If somebody says, again, whether on the level or not, and keep in mind, when they posted the original photo of like, hey, we're honoring Flo, very few people looked at that and went, oh, you're full of shit. You don't mean that. Very few people. However, 2 months later, after a couple people made some incredibly tasteless remarks, and they did, the fact that you didn't let it go and continue to use this for your own recognition, then people started to suspect the original photo may not have been completely on the level. If you had simply said, hey, fuck off, I'm remembering my dear friend who passed away, go away, block, it would have blown over. None of this would have been an issue. But instead, the situation rapidly moved away from Flo into we're being attacked on the internet. It became not about the poor deceased person, and instead became about themselves. And that was where it all got fucked up. I'm not excusing the men who were gross and disgusting and stupid in this situation. They were all of those things. However, there was an opportunity to shut it down. There's going to be some jackass on the internet who complain, who is an asshole about every single thing. There's always somebody. The trick is you do not feed it. You know the old expression, don't feed the trolls? That was an exact moment for not feeding the trolls. However, What happened was, some of these people, and Heather being one of them, made the choice of, you know what, I'm going to feed these trolls and I'm going to make myself look like a victim. So anyway, it's all this kind of stuff. In terms of, is this because she's hot? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that's a factor somewhere in there. I'm sure somebody in this entire thing is looking at that going, look, I don't know. And I don't even want to speculate really into what's going on there, because I don't look at kind of random comic editors on Twitter and think, she's got some pink hair, I would like to fuck that. That's not me. So I don't know how much of this is driven by people who want to have sex with her. Maybe. I'm sure the number is not zero. I'm sure somebody is feeling that way, but I don't think that's a majority. And I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe I mean, who knows? Maybe every single person who's ever complained about Heather Anto secretly wants to sleep with her. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. If that's the case, I guess if that's the case, I would expect it to kind of calm down at this point. I would expect people to be like, you know what, I can't stay mad at you. You're too sexy. I mean, I would have to believe that eventually it would get to that point where, or people would just grow interested in other women and be like, you know what, you seem to be unobtainable, so I'm gonna find one of the other 10,000 women on the internet that is willing to be naked or partially naked. I mean, I think you'd pursue easier targets. That's what I think. I think your attention would wander. So I have a hard time believing that in 2023, sorry, it's not 2020, I'm getting ahead of myself, 2022, I have a hard time believing in 2022 that the reason why people are frustrated with Heather Antos is because they secretly want to sleep with her. I think that ship has sailed. If that ship was a real ship, I think that was 2016, 2017, and I think we're 6 years removed from that. I think people have moved on to other women they'd like to sleep with. That's my feeling. Now, I fully acknowledge I may be completely way off here, and I may, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think the reason why people dislike Heather and why you see so much stuff is because Heather keeps feeding it. If you go to her social media page, she continually likes to poke at people. She likes to talk about, I don't know, she just continually likes to feed that system with, the men are trolls, screw these guys are gross, I hate these people, this is a hate club. Like she keeps, you'll notice if things go quiet for about a week to a week and a half, Heather will just randomly post something like, hey, fuck all these toxic men. And it's like bait. In this situation, by the way, and many of you will hate this, you're the dumbass, not her. I mean, she's clearly desperately crying for attention. You're the dumbass for jumping on it every time. I mean, the people, she posts and people respond. She's getting exactly what she wants, which is attention and some recognition and everything else. That's what's going on. You guys could stop this in a hurry by just, stopping. Like, move on. Twitter is filled with manga boobs at this point. You could go there. Like, much easier. Take way less time. I don't think that she's hot is a reason why people go after her. But again, I may be terribly naive. I don't look at random kind of avatars on Twitter and think, well, this person's attractive. That makes me mad. I don't know. That's not how I view. What are we even talking about at this point? Anyway, why are you mad at Heather? Or why are you mad? I did the video like why people are upset at Vita, and I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on that one. But why people are upset at Heather, I told you it's because of this entire kind of both the milkshake incident, and it's because that Heather keeps feeding it. Heather keeps kind of rolling out bait, and it is total bait to get people all pissed off, because that keeps her news in people's minds. And quite frankly, I think if everybody just ignored Heather and just stopped talking about her, then the only way to get attention is by kind of editing and producing good comics. And even if she was doing a complete bang-up job on Star Trek, which she's not, I mean, how much attention are Star Trek comics really going to get for anyone in 2023? It's not a premier brand. So, I mean, you could brag more about how you were the inspiration for Gwenpool, but that character isn't being used anymore either. So, I mean, I don't think there's much left in the tank on this one. I think the only thing that's keeping it alive at this point, the only kind of attention that's gathered, is by really, really obvious social media bait that, for whatever reason, people bite at every freaking time. So, hey, tip, if you don't like her, and it's not because you secretly want to sleep with her, ignoring her is probably your best bet, because she'll just disappear. There's not a lot of other stuff in there left. So, you're free to do what you want, but I have this nightmare from time to time that it's like 2030, and I'm sitting there, and Wes reaches out. He's like, "Hey, Perch, you want to come on the Comic Aficionados on the weekend?" I'm like, "Well, it's the year 2030, and I was hoping to, watch this remake of Game of Thrones. But yeah, okay, I'll come on." And then I get on the show, and it's like, "Why is Heather Antos such a bitch?" is a topic. I'm like, good God, it's 2030. Why are we, like, how in the world are we still talking about this? I mean, Russia has invaded Germany, and, Kamala Harris is our president, and, like, why are we talking about, why, how in the world is this still a topic? And then it's like, all right, well, we don't have to talk about this one. We'll talk about the next one. God damn that Bendis for aging up John Kent. And I'm like, God damn it. God damn it. John Kent has children at this point. Like, why are we still talking about Bendis aging up John Kent? Have you read the recent comics? He's got 2 transgender children and some kind of animal-human hybrid. Like, I mean, we should be talking about that. That's newer news. I'm just kidding. Well, or am I? Anyway, let me know. Why is it because she's hot? Is that why you're upset? I don't know. Whatever. Thanks for listening.